Friends, it's March. It's the beginning of springtime or thereabouts for a lot of you. Maybe not us necessarily, but for a lot of you. Lately I've seen the old attribution discussion coming up everywhere, it seems. And you know, those who know me, those who followed the show know, not a fan of, trying to do it all the way, or at least, you know what, I should rephrase. Not a problem with trying to do it. Just with trying to prove that it's done, I think is my problem. Is that I don't want to be fed the results stuff, right? You look at the Facebook stuff, it's a little bit crazy, but really what recently came up is the idea of OTT attribution. Based on impressions per household, per this, per that. What? Haven't we already established there are over 20 digital touch points a customer will go through before they make their decision? There are models that exist, first click, last click, all right? We all see them, no matter if that's CRM or GA data. GA data is now switching over to G4 Analytics. By the way, if anyone's out here trying to scare you that Google Analytics is going away in the next calendar month and you better get your data, relax, but you should have your historical data. So if you're not a CarBiz client, because all of our clients have it, because that's all we do, but if you're not one of our clients, make sure you go out and do that for yourself. And anyone helping dealers in a position similar to ours, make sure that's all you're doing is categorizing the historical data for those people, because that's important for our dealer partners across the country, okay? Not just ours at CarBiz, but anyone who has a vendor that makes them a dealer partner. We need to care, all of us. So now with G4 is getting rid of some things that Google Analytics looked at. We've never looked at that part of it because don't forget, people, I think a lot of people forget, Google Analytics and even its new brother G4 are still built for e-commerce websites. So we bend it to our will to get it, to be usable to us in this space. And I know. Websites, automotive websites are now digital retail space. Okay, I heard it. I'm good. It's not what I meant. Functionality-wise, as it was built out as a property, that's it. Now, there are some growing concerns, clearly in Europe, where this sort of data discussion is privacy invasion. Now, I don't know that comes here, but then you got to think about what would you do if you didn't have it. Trust me, holy shit. I mean, that's a big part of what I do. It's a big part of what I analyze, how I work through what I see. It's a lot of what marketers use. So it's a weird discussion to see, but still, even in attribution, even if you look in GA and G4, if you look at the same client side by side, you will see how it weights the results differently, but allows you in G4 to weight it any way that you see fit, whether you're a first click, last click, a time decay. I think they call it something different now, that cohort report stuff that they do. They call it something else. But my point is that over time, you will be able to see similar data points to what you see now in Google Analytics and G4, but it is more data-driven. I don't really know. That's what they say about it. I don't really know what that means because it's all data, so it's all data-driven. But you will see different scoring. Your vendors will look differently through the lens. But remember, if you're looking at the lens without opinion, you're just looking at it, the results will look similar. You won't see one guy ranked 10th, then ranked first. Like he was ranked 4th, now he's ranked 7th. So it will be interesting to get a lot of people's feedback as a lot of people start digging into G4 and what it's like. Be careful with your vendors who are setting up your G4 Analytics accounts for you. Make sure that you have ownership of those. They're not just a view inside your account, okay? Because views can be deleted. So just make sure that you own everything that you can possibly own as it relates to anyone setting it up. Dealers, you should set it up for yourselves. You shouldn't let your vendor set up for it, and you should tie your vendor into it. And then don't forget to go in and remove them, for goodness sakes. Don't forget. So, but yeah, from the attribution side of things, I think even more now so when we look at attribution, we talk about how quickly things turn, how the ordering process works, right? So the way that vehicles are being sold right now, new cars, is something completely unique to what we've done in the past. So that attribution model, if done every 30 days, kind of kills you, right? Because now you're making a deal today that doesn't deliver for 3 months, which is probably when you book it. So following the data, following the user, that's going to be even more interesting for you as you look to have attribution and when it happened. That's why we shouldn't be looking at anything in 30-day cycles ever. You should be looking at 60-day, 90-day, 120, 180 to really see how a vendor, how a strategy has really truly paid off. Okay? Then you take out seasonality. You make everything a little bit easier to look at. But when I start thinking about impressions served to decisions made, it seems like this unnecessary reach that we're making to prove our existence. And the honest reality is, of any marketing online right now, you shouldn't need attribution. You know what you should think about? 4 cents of view. 2 cents of view. That's what should resonate with you. If you're overspending in OTT, most likely that's a fault of someone who's not paying attention, or a vendor who has weird minimums. So annoying, aren't they? But again, and when we truly look, the final part of the attribution discussion for me is this store visit stuff from Google. God, Google, you know I love you. You know I'm all about it. I do everything I can for you. But store visits, basically to me and the dealers I've talked to, comes down to this. That means that whoever visited our store at some point was on Google before they came there. Now, doesn't Google themselves tell us that 90% of searches begin on Google? So isn't the ultimate attribution due to Google if you want to be really sticky about it? That's where you began your search most of the times. Doesn't matter if you went to the Auto Trader Carfax and submitted a lead or went to the website, doesn't matter. Ultimate true first touch we know about, first touch printed in, typed out. So again, you don't need to chase the attribution model to believe in marketing. If you do, your marketing probably sucks. That's what I'll say. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Is if you've got to beg for attribution, if you've got to prove attribution, you're trying to prove something that sucks. I don't have to have attribution discussions with my clients, ever. When we look at CRM data, we look at GA data, we put the story together and we let it speak for itself. Whether it's perfect or not, doesn't matter. It's what we use to measure. So again, if you want to use the down to the penny attribution model that gives credit to 2.5 people, then use it. But remember, 20 touch points at minimum. That's like pre-COVID data. I can't even imagine what it looks like now. So before you go down the attribution rabbit hole, ask yourself, do I really give a shit, or do I just need a blended marketing plan that covers all the bases? Thank you guys so much for another spirited week. I look forward to the ongoing conversation, and we'll see you again next week.